Hello, my name is Dr. Brent Hulsebus, chiropractor, and I want to welcome you to another podcast of Ask the Chiropractor. Ask the Chiropractor is our podcast where we present information and research about chiropractic, and we also try to answer people's questions about chiropractic. A lot of people mistakenly go to their family physician while asking questions about chiropractic or chiropractic care, but your family physician, even though they might be a great medical doctor, they make a really poor chiropractor. Only a chiropractor can answer questions about chiropractic. So I come on this podcast every week and try to answer questions or review a piece of research published about chiropractic so you can understand chiropractic and how it works better. So we call it Ask the Chiropractor. So welcome. So I'm Dr. Brent Hulsebus, chiropractor from Rockford, Illinois. I'm a proud graduate of Palmer College of Chiropractic. I'm the team chiropractor for the AHL Rockford Ice Hogs. So I've worked with all different shapes and sizes of patients and people. And so today I want to talk a little bit about the fact that chiropractors for many, many years have talked about how chiropractic adjustments, we know they're really good for lower back pain. We know they're really good for headaches. We know they're really good for neck pain. Almost everybody agrees with that nowadays. Even your insurance company agrees that's okay. But a lot of chiropractors over the years have talked about how chiropractic can affect the entire central nervous system. You'll see a lot of chiropractors talk about how the nervous system is what we work on through the spine. You'll see chiropractors talk about how people sleep better, eat better, move better, everything after getting chiropractic care. And honestly, this is one of the talking points for medicine and chiropractic and often butt heads. They often want to say they want to see proof, they want to see more things to validate what chiropractors claim. Now chiropractors, we say this all the time because we just see it, right? Patients come in all the time like, hey, after getting chiropractic care, A, B, and C happened to me. Could you explain that to me? Well, we follow Guyton's, anatomy book, and Gray's anatomy book, Guyton's physiology, the body parts that the nerves innervate and how they perform at those areas. And so as a chiropractor, we know by doing the adjustments in those areas, we affect the nerves coming and going, and we know those must affect the body parts. But what about the brain? Does chiropractic actually have any role in the brain? Because that would be a big part of the nervous system, right? Probably the most important part of the nervous system, the brain. So what I have here is I have a PubMed index article. Again, PubMed is one of the gold standards of medical research. In order to get indexed in PubMed, it has to go through tons and tons of scrutiny to validate this is a real science experiment. This is a valid, real good quality of science on today's level for what we know today. And so we have this article that was published May of 2020. It is from the Irish Journal of Medical Science. It was submitted to PubMed. PubMed published it. It's the effect on spinal manipulations on the brain, neurometabolities in chronic, non-specific lower back pain patients, a random clinical trial. So what they did is they found a whole bunch of people from the ages of 20 to 50 that were having chronic lower back pain, non-specific. This would be like somebody who's always having lower back pain. Not like I raked the leaves yesterday and now I have lower back pain. This is someone who's been dealing with lower back pain for a long time. And what they did is they wanted to see what happened after they got chiropractic care to the lumbar spine, not only for the lower back pain, right? They did that. They used, to measure that, they used different questionnaires. So we use like Oswestrian tests and functional index ratings, had them fill it out and also do the pain scale thing to ask them how they were doing. But the other thing they introduced in this study that makes this study unique and why we're talking about it is HMRS. What is HMRS? HMRS is proton magnetic resonance spectrography. I have a hard time with some of those bigger words. Proton magnetic resonance spectrography. Now I'll put it right on the spelling on the captioning below so you guys can see how it's actually spelled. But this is a non-invasive way to measure the biochemistry of the brain, what's happening in the brain at specific times. So with new technology comes new research. And what's really interesting to see was after people receive chiropractic care to the lumbar spine, after having long-term chronic lower back pain, non-specific, meaning that it didn't happen from this incident or this incident, it's just been there for a long time. There are people who come to see the chiropractor when they're in their 60s and 70s and said, I've had lower back pain for so long, I finally decided to come to the chiropractor. What we find with those patients is, one, we find a lot of arthritis degeneration usually, which limits our ability to heal. We wish we would have met them 20 years earlier, but often they were told not to come see us or we wouldn't be able to help them, which is why we make this podcast. But usually what we find is that there's a lot of degeneration there, and all we can do at this point is offer supportive care or dealing with the acute exacerbations of chronic conditions. So let's talk about this. What did we find out? Well, they found a significant amount of changes in all different areas of the brain after every time there was a spinal chiropractic adjustment done in the lumbar spine for these people between the ages of 20 and 50. All kinds of things in the thalamus, the prefrontal cortex, all kinds of things and changes that were going on. It's really cool to see these changes, that we know that the moment the adjustment was given, that the brain activity went up. And how do we know this? Because other people received what they call sham manipulations, where chiropractic really wasn't done. They were just kind of convinced that it did, and we did not see the exact same thing. So it was really neat to see, without a shadow of a doubt, after looking at this research, that chiropractic adjustments can definitely affect the brain and how the brain functions. And think about that for a little bit. So if you were in chronic lower back pain between the ages of 20 and 50, it's just really neat to see how not only the pain went down, but the functional disability reduced. That means some of these people might be able to start functioning again, working better, getting their brains working better, functioning better, more efficiently and stuff like that, and they start getting their lives back. So as a chiropractor, this is really exciting to me to watch these studies as this new technology comes out. I've been able to witness a motion MRI machine when they did a chiropractic adjustment to the upper neck area. Get to see the spinal fluid get dumped, the new spinal fluid come rushing in. Really, really cool stuff. So to me as a chiropractor, this stuff is really neat. I love the way all the new technology coming out. I love all the new science that we're able to see stuff. Things that my grandpa talked about that he knew was happening because he saw it with patients, but didn't have the way to objectively measure it and look at it. And today to have stuff like this, to actually watch the brain chemistry change after receiving a real chiropractic adjustment, and exactly the people who did not get a real adjustment, there was no change at all. So we know that was a variable. And it was really cool to see the numbers here change in the brain, know that how much we're affecting the actual brain. When you start affecting the brain, you affect the entire body, how the entire body functions. And what they were able to do is they just measured different chemicals that came in and out of the brain with this HMRS test. It was really interesting. The difference, the measurement, I think it was 0.05 was the difference. So we know it's pretty definite that these are having major metabolic effects on the brain when you get your adjustments. And these are all good things for the better, right? None of these are like negative things. These are all showing the brain functioning better and kicking on better. No significant difference in the terms of the brain metastasizing the baseline or after receiving the sham group. So they established a baseline with these patients, they gave adjustments. The other ones got sham adjustments, and there was nothing that's going on before the adjustment, but after adjustment there definitely was something going on. In the sham group, nothing ever changed from the baseline before or after. It all stayed the exact same. Really cool study. I love these new research papers that are coming out. This one came out during COVID. That's why I think I missed it. I think we were all a little busy doing other things during COVID. Again, a randomized control study came out. It was EPUB'd, so it's like 2019, November 26th. This is the 2020 May edition of the Irish Journal of Medical Science. Just a cool paper. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or on my website, I'm putting the paper up so you can see it as I'm talking. If you're listening to me on a podcast, go check us out at my website, rockforddc.com, rockfordDC.com. I actually put the papers up over my face as I'm talking, so people can actually see the paper and reference the paper if you want to. It's hard for me to put links on because I post the podcast lots of different places. It shows up lots of different ways. It's hard to put the link directly on there. I'll do my best to see that happens. But otherwise, just go to my website, rockforddc.com. You can find everything there. So, cool study about the brain. If you want more questions about chiropractic or anything I can answer about chiropractic and how it works, maybe you've heard a chiropractor make a claim about something or tell you chiropractic can do A, B, or C, and you'd like to get another opinion or understand maybe why the chiropractor claimed this or said this. I tend to try to back everything up with science and research, so go ahead and ask us. Go to rockforddc.com, ask the question there. Come by the office, ask if you're in the Rockford area. Otherwise, just leave us a message or a comment below, and I'll try to answer your question next time. Again, I'm Dr. Brent Hulsebus calling you from Rockford, Illinois. Hope you understood the subject matter here, how chiropractic affects the brain. I hope it made sense. I think it's cool, all this new research. And if you have a question about chiropractic, go ahead and ask. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.